good night.
Good night. Let's go. Thank you.
A lot of people have like issues with flying, like, you know, overseas or like long distance flights, transcontinental flights or whatever, but I've always enjoyed them. I have no issues flying, but maybe because I'm like a long distance truck driver, so for me flying is like luxury. It's almost enjoyable. I feel like I'm cruising in the air, you know. It's like you feel like you're floating on air. I've always enjoyed it. Like even turbulence is kind of fun. It's kind of like unexpected roller coaster style. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, sometimes we've been critical of us expats on this channel, and mostly because we're trying to promote, you know, positive tourism and good tourism to the Philippines and stuff. And although we're critical, I will say it is important to have friends, okay? You do want to have, like, if you're living in the Philippines as a foreigner, as an expat, as an American, European, you do want to have, like, friends, okay? That doesn't mean you have to like be friends with everybody that walks in the door, but you should have some, you know, a small circle of friends, ideally, people you can count on, other expats, you know. The psychology of expats is some of them are trying to get away from their home country, or they're trying to live in a new place. Maybe they got tired of seeing their own white people or their own nationality of people, whatever color they were, and like they want I guess they want to feel like they're going somewhere new, so maybe sometimes they don't want to talk to some of their own countrymen anymore. But something that caught my attention recently, like the subject of like American civil rights and whatnot, or just rights that people have, I guess, or whatever they think they have as citizens, like in a democracy, you know. I was watching one of those like First Amendment rights videos, and if anybody of you seen these on YouTube, it's like what do they call them? First Amendment auditors, that kind of stuff. So you'll basically get guys like they'll walk into like a government building here in the US, or they'll walk in like a parking lot of a police station or another government building. They'll kind of loiter around, and basically the whole purpose of it is like they'll provoke a reaction from the authorities, like the police, and when they ask them to leave, they'll start asking about their rights, and basically they'll refuse to leave. They'll provoke usually them into a confrontation, and you know, the police, they know they're being filmed, so they try to behave as much as possible. It creates like a real awkward tension. And yeah, there's guys that this is their whole life, this is their whole YouTube channel, is like provoking basically police, okay? And it's like, my God, man, I mean, what a luxury we have here to well, I mean, for some of these guys to sit around provoking policemen into a confrontation. I mean, can you imagine doing that in the Philippines or something? That's what I'm saying, man. It's like most people in these countries, like the Philippines, is like they're respectful to the law. They recognize that the policemen are valuable and the security guards. Like you go to a 7-Eleven in the Philippines and you'll see a security guard there usually like packing heat, like an M16 or like an AR-15, but it's all good, you know. But people respect the security, man. They respect the police there. Like, I couldn't imagine, well, I could. I mean, I could tell you stories, but maybe in another video, but there's been stories of like American tourists that will go, for instance, in the Philippines or other countries, and they start pulling their, you know, oh, we have right speech when they get into maybe a confrontation with a policeman or something, and it's really, really, really a bad idea, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I've heard stories from different people, men that have been kind of up to no good or showing off, being a little bit abusive to like hostesses at restaurants or like the bartender. And the thing is like people get so comfortable because like the Filipinos are so welcoming. It's such a relaxed place, and sometimes us Americans or other nationalities, we forget that you're not home. You know what I mean? You're in a foreign place that's not your home and you're a guest. And like, while they are like, you know, laid back and stuff, that can quickly turn, okay? There's stories about tourists that do stuff like that, or they get into confrontations with like bar owners or resort owners, and it doesn't always end too well, all right? I don't want to get into details, maybe we can talk about it in more videos, but really a bad idea. So stay level-headed, stay cool, and if you do get into a confrontation, God forbid, don't start preaching about your American rights when you're in a foreign country, because if you've gotten to that level, they're not really going to be too interested. But yeah, anyway, I was just going back to that because I was thinking, I was like, man, you know, some of the policemen here in the U.S., they put up with so much crap from some these days, like because everybody like has their cell phone out, you know what I mean? Like, you get these jackasses, like, I mean, basically, like, you know, doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, or just intentionally like provoking the police. I mean, these are like really hard-working people that do a really stressful job. I mean, like, most policemen here are really good people doing a community service. I mean, you know, in any population, we're always going to get like bad apples, right? But my God, I mean, the patience of some of these policemen dealing with this stuff, it's unbelievable, because, you know, you can't pull that kind of stuff in other countries, dude. No way. There's different arguments on this subject. They say like, oh, now there's less, I don't know, police brutality and stuff in the US because they know they're being watched more and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd be curious if there's like actually studies on that. Oh yeah, so I'm going to Chicago. You know what I like about Chicago? Almost nothing. No, I'm just joking. I'm sure it's a nice American city with a lot of stuff to do. I just haven't explored much of Chicago, but I lived around there for quite a while to work, so.
Once again, if you're in group 9 and you have a roller bag, please step out of the line and see us here. If you have a roller bag, step out of the line and see us here.
Now, did you notice the attitude?
At this moment, group 9 with personal items only, welcome to board. With items that is being under the seat only. Group 9, welcome to board at this moment.
Notice the attitude in that announcement, okay? I just don't imagine that as much in the Philippines, like that type of customer service, even though it's like a poor country and whatnot. You're more likely to get less of some of that type of attitude. But I mean, again, it's like an industrial country. People are stressed out. People are divided. Life's hard, man. Like, you gotta work hard. It's competitive. People are struggling to pay rent. People making $60,000 a year, they're just getting by, you know, so it's not easy. We're not boarding group 9. Get the roller bag out of the line. You know, like, I'm not sure how many people actually talk that way, but that's like a thing, you know. That does happen. You know, one thing I always noticed about when people are waiting to board an airplane, they'll stand there like for 20 minutes, a half hour before they're even like ready to board the plane. But they stand there like in line obediently, like sheep, waiting for the next order, waiting to be told what to do, waiting to be told where to go. But I don't get why they stand there. It's like, why don't you just sit and chill, and then when it's your time to go on the airplane, walk on the airplane? I mean, what's the point of standing there? I don't understand. These are one of the deep mysteries that I'm trying to uncover on my vlog. You understand? This is life-changing stuff we're talking about here together. You know, I can't tell if this woman's Filipino.
Alright guys, please make sure you only put the carry-on bags in the overhead bin. The personal item stays in front of you. In order to make some space for other passengers.
My goodness gracious.
Not enough. what it is.
Can I get a shot of it?
Wait till the end because they're busy right now. Okay.
I get excited as my shot. Thank you. You guys ever see like those YouTube videos where like they have those people that freak out on flights or like they cause disturbances? Like I'm not sure how that happens, but I've never seen anything like that myself, never. So, but it does happen apparently. I mean, people get stressed out when they travel. Provide critical, important feedback for public relations purposes, but also to encourage and uplift people at the same time. Oh yeah, I made it here to Chicago late at night. I got the car, okay? So we're gonna drive this thing to a place called Joliet, Illinois, all right? So in that location, I have my old Audi, this 1998 Audi. And inside that car, I have my son's birth certificate. I have my own birth certificate. And I got some other important documents and stuff that I need to get out of the car. And then we're gonna put it in this car. And then from there, we're gonna drive to Omaha, Nebraska. And thank you, Stephen. Stephen at Enterprise, very helpful. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. All right. So I've been used to driving motorcycles and tricycles lately, but we're gonna drive like an actual vehicle. So I'm looking forward to this. And then next week we're gonna be driving, so we'll see what happens. I thought this was an electric car, but it's a gas car. It's all good. Wish it was a stick shift. It's a Toyota.